Scanner School, session number 54. This is Ask Scanner School, Volume 4.
Welcome to the Scanner School, a podcast dedicated to the scanner radio hobby. Class is about to begin. Here is your host, Phil Lichtenberger.
So welcome to Scanner School. My name is Phil Lichtenberger. My amateur radio call sign is W2LIE, and this is Scanner School, a podcast where we teach you everything that you need to know about the scanner radio hobby. So before we get right into today's topic, which is answering your questions, I remind you that Scanner School is sponsored by East Coast Pages. Now, East Coast Pages is a Unication Apollo Swiss phone dealer serving the U.S. market. East Coast Pages sells numeric and alphanumeric products, as well as today's most advanced voice pagers used by many fire departments. So when you're looking to purchase a Unication Swiss phone voice pager, shipping is included. Swiss phone pagers and Unication G4, G5 ship with spare belt clips, and Unication G1 pagers will ship with a spare clip as well as spare batteries. Complimentary programming of your department's dispatch and fireground are included with your purchase. So you can contact eastcoastpagers.com for a custom quote for your department or individual needs. Again, that's eastcoastpagers.com. So today on Scanner School, we are answering your questions. This is something I really enjoy doing here, and I'm looking for more questions. So if you have a question that you would like to have answered, go to scannerschool.com/ask. That's Alpha Sierra Kilo, scannerschool.com/ask. And your best bet is to click on the Speak Pipe button or send us a voicemail using our local number here in the States. So in order to help you understand the importance of the Speak Pipe button, every question I'm going to email on today's podcast came from SpeakPipe. I'm not answering any email questions this week. It's all going from the SpeakPipe. So again, if you want your questions answered as quickly as possible, go to scannerschool.com/ask and click on the SpeakPipe button. Now, again, before we also start going into your questions, I want to thank everybody. Again, if you didn't listen to last week's podcast, tomorrow, January 2nd, will mark the complete one-year anniversary of the Scanner School podcast. We launched last year. We launched January 2nd, 2018 with 2 episodes, and today's podcast launches New Year's Day, 2019. So if you're listening to this tomorrow because of the holiday, let's have a little party. Let's jump on the Facebook group and let's just have a little bit of a celebration to acknowledge that Scanner School has been around for a year, and I could not do it without your help. Couldn't do it without the support that you guys have been giving me, whether it be through Twitter engagement or the Facebook group, or you're submitting your questions or your feedback. So again, this is a community-driven type of podcast where, again, like today, I'm answering questions. A lot of the topics that I talk about come from recommendations from you, the listeners. So again, I want to thank you. Yeah, that's right. You listening to me right now, I want to thank you for listening and being part of the Scanner School community. So again, you can go to scannerschool.com/Facebook group. And that will take you over to our community where you can celebrate the rest of the day with the fellow Scanner School students. So let's jump right into our very first question. Our first question comes from Hanyanya, and let's just have him take it away.
Good afternoon, Phil. Kilo India 6 Yankee India Lima here, Hananya. Wondering whether there are any Macintosh computer scanner programming software. Just out of curiosity. For Macintosh computers. Have a good one. Bye.
All right, Hanya, thank you so much for your question. So, no, unfortunately, there isn't any native Mac software out there that will run on your Macintosh. I know as a recent convert over to the Apple world, the past year, I've not only bought a desktop but a iPod and an iPhone. So I'm slowly leaving the Windows and Android world, I guess you could say, and I'm part of the Apple camp. But there's nothing really native that will help you out as far as programming. What you can do is you'll need to have at least a Windows computer for either Sentinel or Easy Scan for the Whistler products. I prefer Butel when it comes to programming, but even FreeScan and ProScan, they all need a Windows operating system in order to program your scanner. If you're going to use something like Yaesu or some Kenwoods, ICOMs, the Bofangs, those kinds of radios, they will operate under Chirp. Chirp is open source. You can get that at scannerschool.com/chirp, and that will work on Windows, Mac, and on Linux. But unfortunately, it's not for scanners. It's more for the two-way radio world. So if you have some two-way radio devices, that might be a good solution for you. But as far as everything else goes, you need Windows or at least Windows environment. So if you want to continue to use your Mac, you could use something like Boot Camp, or I use Parallels. So a little trick, something that I do is you go on Google Shopping and do a search for Windows 10 or Windows 7 or whatever copy it is you want of Windows. I was able to find a copy of Windows with a full key for under $40, which is pretty good. So again, it's working fine. I got a legit key, as far as I know, and it's a good to go copy. It registered just fine with Microsoft. So again, Google Shopping. I'm running on my Mac. I'm running Parallels. But again, I bought a cheap $350 laptop to do some programming as well as my desktop. So yeah, unfortunately, long story short, you need Windows, and there's nothing native right now that will operate on Mac. Again, thank you so much for your question, and let's jump into our next one.
Hi, this is KM Summers. I am trying to program a frequency. I'd like to make it a favorite, and I'm wondering if you can tell me how to do that. I have a Uniden Bearcat SDS 100, and I just got it, and so I'm still learning, but that's one thing I would like to do. There's one specific frequency I'd like to listen to whenever I want. Okay, thank you.
Hey KM, thank you so much for your question. You can easily set up a priority channel in Sentinel. What you want to do is you want to go into the favorite list that you've set up, and then you're going to program the favorites list. This will allow you to edit the content of the favorites list. You'll jump down into the department you're looking for, and then you'll see the frequency list that's in there for under that department. When you go all the way to the right-hand side of that chart, you're going to see P-CH, that's P channel, priority channel. You enable that, and that flags that channel as a priority channel. Then what you want to do is after you program the scanner, you want to make sure you have priority turned on. Obviously, you want to make sure that you have the services enabled that channel is. So again, if it's a fire dispatch channel, you want to make sure that the fire dispatch services are enabled, and you're off to the races. If you wanted to set up a favorites list, that's what I would recommend doing, is maybe put all your priority channels in a favorites list. This way you can easily make sure that you have your priority list turned on. Everything there will be a priority group, and it gives you the ability to shut everything else off and just leave on your priority list and not have to scan the entire database or your entire favorites list if all you're really looking to do is just listen to the 5 priority channels that are in your area. So that's a very simple and easy way to set up conventional priority scanning in your scanner. Hopefully I did a quick job. I know it was really, really quick, but it's a really quick process to do. Now, if you're interested in doing trunking, let's listen to what Paul has to ask, because these two questions, they kind of tie in together. Paul, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Phil. This is Paul Teal calling from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Amateur radio call sign Whiskey Baker 5 Alpha November X-ray. I really enjoy the Scanner School series, have listened to every episode throughout the year, and congratulations on all that you've done to establish this as a real means for people to listen and learn. My question has to do with an aspect of my SDS 100. I have 4 scanners here in the shack, and the SDS 100 is the newest one I picked up last summer. And my particular question is about how to enable priority scanning such that it would automatically switch to a different talk group should it be locked in on a different talk group. In particular, if it's scanning on the Tulsa Police Department and I want to hear the Tulsa Fire Department dispatch. How do I get it to do that? I have it enabled, and I have the fire department talk group enabled as a priority, but it's not behaving that way. So, kind of looking for some best practices on how to get that to work properly.
All right, so this one isn't so easy. Again, Paul, thank you so much for your support. You've been one of the early listeners to Scanner School. I know you've been there since the very beginning, and again, I want to thank you so much for your support and also letting the people in your community where you are know about Scanner School. I definitely appreciate you spreading the word on the podcast. So to answer your question, Paul, this isn't really something that's as simple as you would think it would be. Now, what ends up happening is the scanner, the priority list. This is a real tough, crazy one, but in short, it's not going to work the way you expect it to work, and that's the problem here. The scanner will only operate or only check priority on a talk group if it's on the control channel, so it can't be following a voice channel in order to go back to priority. So it doesn't work the way you'd expect it to work when it's like conventional, where every half a second, every 2 seconds, I believe it's every 2 seconds, it goes back and looks for your priority list. That doesn't happen while it's on trunking. It only will stay on the active voice channel. While it's not on a voice channel, it will then make sure it looks for priority channels. The other thing is, though, is that the system admin of the priority of the trunk radio system is the one who determines what the priority talk groups are on the system. So not only do you need to have your talk group programmed as a priority, but the system admin also needs to have defined that talk group as a priority talk group in the system in order for this to really 100% work the way you expect it to work. So unfortunately, the short answer to the long explanation is priority in conventional works different than priority on trunking. With priority on trunking, it's only going to check if the sysadmin has it set up or if your scanner is sitting on a control channel and nothing else is really active. It will then find it. But as soon as your radio goes onto a voice channel, it's not listening to the control channel anymore. It would have no way of knowing if the priority talk group was even sent out over the air. So unfortunately, priority trunking isn't something that's going to work on your scanners. Now, if you are good with playing around with things and you want to try something different, I would recommend going with setting up Unitrunker, which is a free download. You can download it at, I believe just Google search Unitrunker. I'm not exactly sure what the link is anymore. And maybe you can go to unitrunker.com. But you can then view what's going on the layers on the control system, on the trunk system rather. So if you have like two SDRs, or if you have two scanners with the data throughput on it, that will like the 996 P2s or some of the Radio Shack or the GRE or Whistler lines will actually take that raw data stream and send it outwards. You can use something like Unitrunker to follow your priorities. And because you have one radio that's dedicated on the data stream, that will know when those talk groups come on. So that's another way of doing it. And we'll talk more about SDR and Unitrunker later down the road, probably more towards the summer time frame here on Scanner School. But those topics are coming, and I am looking forward to bringing SDR to the table here on Scanner School. So, Paul, thank you very much for your questions, and everybody else who asked today, I want to thank you very much again for your questions as well. So many people ask me what I recommend buying my scanners from. I want to say I've been doing business for a long time with Scanner Master. Again, this is not a paid spot. This is more of an affiliate spot. I recommend going with Scanner Master. I've been doing a lot of business with them for several years. And if you want to help Scanner School and you are looking for a scanner radio or accessory or even programming, go to scannerschool.com/scannermaster. That's our affiliate code. So when you use that link and you go to Scanner Master to buy an antenna, a radio, programming, manuals, travel cases, and any type of accessory you can think of for your scanner, Scanner School will get a credit for the scale. So again, scannerschool.com/scannermaster. Now also many have asked about programming software. Again, that's what Hanya just asked about today, and I recommend Butel. I've been using Butel since I've said before, the 780, 75 days. I've been a real fan of the Butel software. If I own a scanner and Butel makes the software, I buy. It's about $30 for a basic license. Butel does make more advanced licenses that cost double, but you get a lot more features out of it as well. But I especially like for my unit and home patrol scanners, instead of using Sentinel, I use Butel's software for programming those radios as well, because I can just copy and paste, make up my own favorites list, and I can really customize what that scanner is doing, what the favorites lists are in the scanners by using Butel software. So again, if you're looking for software, my recommendation is going with Butel, and if you go to scannerschool.com/Butel, that's BUTEL, Bravo, Uniform, Tango, Echo, Lima. That's our affiliate code. If you make a purchase on Butel's website by going to scannerschool.com/Butel, we will earn a small affiliate link, and it's a great way to help support Scanner School. Now, again, you can find these links also on our resources page, scannerschool.com/resources, and also on our support page at scannerschool.com/support. So I want to thank our current Patreon supporters, James Felling, Ken Newberry, Kenneth Fowler, M.T. Bono, Mark Beebe, and William Arcan. You guys are awesome. You all rock. And I want to thank you all for supporting the Scanner School podcast month over month. And as part of the benefit of being a Patreon supporter at the $5 level, everybody gets the Scanner School podcast earlier than our normal Tuesday published date. So again, you can join Patreon on a month-to-month basis at any price point, but for $5 a month, you get the podcast a little earlier than everybody else. So again, if you want to be a Patreon supporter, you can do so by going to scannerschool.com/support. All right, I want to thank those who have submitted a question this week. And again, if you have a question about a scanner you would like answered, please go to scannerschool.com/ask. Again, scannerschool.com/ask. And if you're in the New York area on Long Island on this upcoming Saturday, January 5th, 2019, I am giving a scanner radio introduction class at Ham Radio University. You can go to hamradiouniversity.org for more information. The forum that I am presenting starts at 9 a.m. sharp. It's a 50-minute forum, and we'll be covering the introduction to scanning from basic analog through the digital modes, P25, NXDN, DMR, and just basic, how scanning works, what you need to know. And it'll be, slanted a little bit towards the Long Island market. But again, if you're in the area and you want to take a listen, then come on down, say hi, and I'll be there for a little bit. And I'm also hoping to make the session available for those of you who can't come down to Long Island, to make it available online. So stay tuned. Check our mailing list for more information on that one, scannerschool.com/subscribe, and we'll let you know when we make that available to anybody who wasn't able to come to Ham Radio University. All right, guys, that is all for this week. I want to thank everybody again for submitting their questions. Now, we do have open slots for next month's Ask Scanner School, so please don't wait. Go to scannerschool.com/ask, click on that SpeakPipe link, and leave us your questions for next month's Ask Scanner School. Again, I want to thank everybody who has subscribed to the podcast. If you haven't subscribed yet, go to scannerschool.com/iTunes or scannerschool.com/iHeartRadio or Google Play or Stitcher. Or anything else that's out there, whatever you are listening to right now, you can subscribe to us by taking your phone out of your pocket and clicking the subscribe button. We'll catch you all next Tuesday. We're going to start talking about DMR, also known as Moto Turbo. So again, my name is Phil Lichtenberger. This is Scanner School. We teach you everything you need to know about the scanner radio hobby. Say 73, everyone. We'll talk to you all next week.